Josh, before we talk about some of these other big spring games this weekend, I was recently introduced to Roback, and I couldn't be more excited. When I say impressed by the quality and comfort, I mean it. I literally can't take this stuff off since trying it on. For starters, the Roback polos are my favorite polos. They not only have fun designs for every occasion and season, but they fit perfectly and easily transition throughout the day. Roback's everyday shorts are the perfect pairing as well. They are so comfortable, have an elastic waistband and great fabric that is made to stretch. Finally, the Roback hoodie is by far my favorite piece of clothing I own. It's so comfortable. I wear this to start my day, end my day, and everything in between. Easy to be active in or just relax. This hoodie will fit whatever the day has in store. They've also released a ton of new products. Between their brand new Tailwind tees and bathing suits, Roback is ready for the warm weather. Roback has also been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with college stars Jalen Milroe, Cade Klubnik, among others. They are becoming the go-to brand for college athletes. Use the code STEVE on Roback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. That's 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with the code STEVE.
All right, Steve, let's head out to Oregon. Eugene, there's the Duck spring game, and the visitor list is massive. You guys can go over to Scoop Duck and check it out. Justin Hopkins and the boys do an incredible job tracking all things Oregon Ducks. But, Steve, I want to talk five-star recruits with you, and there are a few coming in, namely Elijah Griffin, DJ Pickett, and our guy, Jakeem Stewart, the number one player in the 2026 class, who might reclassify to the 2025 class. We talk about him a lot. But let's start with the 2025 recruits and Elijah Griffin and DJ Pickett. Right now, Elijah Griffin trending to Georgia, but he has made a couple trips out to the West Coast. What do you think of Griffin and the Ducks right now?
Well, you never sleep on Oregon, and if any program, any head coach is built to recruit against Georgia, it's Dan Lanning, who was pivotal in helping build that program into the national title contender that they are. Now he's trying to do it from the corner office at Oregon. Elijah Griffin's a top target, and we've talked about it all month, Josh. Oregon's going to eventually make a run on the trail. They had a top 5 class last year. They have the firepower on the board to finish in the top 5 this year. Elijah Griffin, they need to trend up here. Obviously, the RPM's on Georgia. We like the Bulldogs, but he is giving other schools an opportunity to make a move. Oregon is a program that he's going to get a look at this weekend, and we'll see what happens with the Ducks coming out of the trip.
All right, Steve, let's talk DJ Pickett because his cousin signed with Miami last year. They seem to have the inside track of the in-state schools recruiting DJ Pickett, who's from Zephyr Hills, Florida. But you got LSU and now Oregon. Oregon heavily in the mix. They've got him out there multiple times. What does this visit mean to you when it comes to DJ Pickett in Oregon?
Yeah, following his last visit to LSU a couple weeks ago, he said that LSU and Miami were neck and neck. And how could he turn down an opportunity to play for Corey Raymond, who he views as the best defensive backs coach in college football? But this is his third visit to Oregon, so he is obviously very serious about the Ducks, going to take a later official visit. So he's going to take 4 visits to Eugene. He's gotten his mom out there, getting his folks out there. Loves the trajectory of the program. Again, Dan Lanning, the defensive background, some of the big-time players that he has developed. He loves being in Eugene. This is going to be a great atmosphere. So we'll see if Oregon can be right on par with Miami and LSU coming out of this visit, which will make this summer very interesting. And DJ wants to take his college decision into the fall. He wants to watch these teams play some during the season, which I view as what's Miami going to do? How's Miami playing? I think he's pretty confident that LSU and Oregon are going to have a good year. Miami, he likes the trajectory. 3 more wins this past season than the year prior. But I think an opportunity to watch all these teams play this fall is why he is pushing his decision into the fall. And Oregon is one of the front runners.
Yeah. Now, what about Jakeem Stewart? Because he's a guy that we kind of talk about making all these visits, maybe for the first time, but also if he's going to be a 2025 reclassifier, then these visits mean a lot. So what do you make of Jakeem Stewart going out to Oregon this weekend?
Well, he's got interest in Oregon. You know, USC, he's been there 3 times already, fresh off a weekend visit to the Trojans campus. No question, that's one of his favorite schools. He's going to be at the USC-LSU season opener in Las Vegas. LSU's another top school. Ohio State has given him a great visit. Texas, Miami, some of the others that he has a keen eye on. But here's Oregon's chance to impress. And very rare, Josh, do we ever talk to a prospect that isn't blown away by what Oregon can offer. So we expect Jakeem Stewart to rave about Oregon. And if he does reclassify, I would imagine they get on the calendar for an official visit, and then we see what happens from there.
All right. Well, big weekend out in Eugene. Before we move on from Oregon, there's one more prospect I want to talk about. He's not a 5-star, but he is the number 2 tight end in the land out of Kansas. We're talking Lincoln Cure. Is he a guy that you have an eye on this weekend?
Well, not to commit, but he has an official visit scheduled to Oregon for June 14th, and talking to his dad on Wednesday, he thought that was going to be their last trip to Oregon, but his son was like, look, we got to get there for the spring game. And so they got it on the calendar really quick. And so they're coming out to Oregon. They went to a game last year. They're going to be at Oregon spring game. They're going to get back for an official visit. Kansas State is the RPM favorite for Lincoln Cure, but I'm starting to get the sense Oregon is the biggest challenger. His dad said the Pacific Northwest lifestyle is appealing to his son. Coach Maringer and Coach Lanning have done a really good job recruiting him. And so they want to get out there, learn more about Eugene, putts around town, and then obviously they'll come back for their official visit. But Dan Lanning went out to see Lincoln Cure during the evaluation period. They've invested a lot of time in him. They're in on some other high-profile tight ends like Deshaun Brame, but Lincoln Cure giving Oregon a good look. Going to visit 2 more times, including this weekend.
All right, big spring game out there in Eugene. Duck fans, tap in, comment section below. How are we feeling about this weekend? A couple 5 stars, also Lincoln Cure. Let me know, comment section below.